If you guys need help gearing up for the GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition, check out G2A with a link in the description and use cashback code BOSS if you want to save a little bit extra as well. Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA video, we're going to be talking about some interesting news regarding the definitive edition of Vice City San Andreas and GTA 3, including release time and if it's going to be coming out early, if anyone actually has early access to the game itself, and if you're able to get a refund if you simply just don't like the game. We'll be talking about all of that in this video today and a whole lot more. So I want to talk about the release time for this title because there's been a lot of confusion because Rockstar have been relatively quiet since their initial couple of announcements, but they did tell us that it looks like it was going to have a global release time, meaning that it was not going to come out in waves. So for example, like if you lived in Australia, it's going to be November 11th before it's going to be November 11th in New York City. It's just the way the world works and time zones. So some people were wondering if it was going to be working like that. It is not. It is going to be arriving at a set time, which is November 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Again, I will leave a time converter site in the description because that might be earlier in the morning if you guys are on the West Coast. Might be in the afternoon if you're in Europe. It might be the following day if you are in Australia or New Zealand. I don't know how many of you guys are watching my videos from down under, but let me know if you are. So Rockstar's official time is 10 a.m. Eastern time, November 11th. Now, why some people are getting confused by that is because we're getting some conflicting reports, particularly on the PlayStation and the Sony consoles. Because when you preload the game, you can actually see that it gives you like a countdown and a timer. Well, some users are reporting that their countdown and timer is set to expire 1 day early, 10 a.m. Eastern time on November 10th. Now, the only way I could see this is if Sony somehow got themselves confused with a release time that is not going to be global, when it becomes 10 a.m. on November 11th in one part of the world, like in Australia or New Zealand, not where it is on the East Coast, which is a huge difference because that would obviously mean if you're on like the East Coast or the West Coast of the United States, you'd basically be able to start playing this a day early. So my initial reaction is that this is just an error from PlayStation or Sony because they have it releasing earlier than the Rockstar announced time. But this really has created some confusion. And you might honestly have to prepare for it coming out at different times from both companies. So it might be Wednesday, it might be Thursday, although I find it very hard to believe that the guys in Sony on the PlayStation would just be able to get the game early because Sony messed something up, and that Rockstar wouldn't jump in and say like, hey, what's going on here? Why are you guys getting it early when the other platforms are not? So I will provide an update to this story if there ultimately is one. But this is a little bit strange, particularly from Sony, because Rockstar has been firm on their date, but Sony was the one that's got it wrong. And for me on my Xbox, it says that it's coming out on November 11th at 10 a.m., not on the 10th, a day early. So I think I'm going to have to believe that time. And the PlayStation systems, PS4 and PS5, are the only ones with that early time. So just something to keep in mind right there. Now, speaking of players being able to get the game early, I've been seeing a lot of reports online, whether it be YouTubers or whether it be media outlets, that are going to get early copies of the game and are going to be able to play them early, share them early, post footage, although that would be a big breach of whatever contract you might have signed. I can tell you, and I'm not sure if I can actually show it on the screen, but Rockstar has reached out to people in the community, and although they are providing complimentary digital downloads of the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the definitive edition, on the user's platform of choice, they were very specific in stating that there will not be an early embargo or an access period, and it will be available to play on November 11th. I wish I could provide that email on the screen, but I don't want to get anyone from Rockstar in trouble or make them not end up doing opportunities for the community like this. So while they are giving out complimentary copies because they want people in the media and people like YouTubers like myself to talk about it, there's not going to be an early access or early embargo period. So that means everyone is going to get the game at the same time. And it's not going to be like Red Dead Redemption or GTA 5, where there's going to be reviews and opinions and whatnot put out early. Because these technically aren't new games, it's not like the story is changing. We know about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3. So there's nothing really going on there that would make for a new review to ultimately come out. But just know that if anyone online is claiming that they're going to be getting these games early, they are not. In fact, it's impossible because they are digital releases only for now. So it's not like some copies could fall off the back of a truck and end up getting them. The only way to get them is digitally, and Rockstar are not releasing any of those digital versions early. So just something to keep in mind right there. Don't believe anyone you hear online saying they have the game early and they're going to get to play it early, etc. Now, the final thing we're going to be talking about in this video today, especially since Rockstar hasn't actually revealed any gameplay footage, if you can actually get a refund of this game. And on the Rockstar Games launcher, which is obviously on PC, so let's say when the Trilogy arrives and you just absolutely hate it, it's not something you want to dive back into, well, Rockstar gives you the opportunity to have a refund. So they pose this hypothetical question, refunds for purchases from the Rockstar Games launcher. So the question was, and you can see when it was updated, which was a little bit earlier on this year on August 17th, 2021, how can I get a refund for a game purchase made from the Rockstar Games launcher? And they said digital game purchases and bundle purchases from the Rockstar store and redeemed via the Rockstar Games launcher may be refunded within 14 days of purchase at the discretion of the retailer. No digital game or bundle purchases will be refunded if A, the transaction included physical goods, virtual currency, virtual goods, or any other non-refundable item, or B, there is more than 2 hours of playtime collectively associated with the games in the transaction, including free or bonus games. All decisions whether to refund a digital game transaction are solely in the discretion of the retailer. And note that this policy does not apply to digital games purchased from the Rockstar store that require redemption via Steam. So unfortunately, I don't know if that last bit applies to the new Trilogy Definitive Edition, but if you hate it, it can be refunded within 14 days, or if you've played for less than 2 hours, you can get your money back here. So hopefully that is not the case, and we will all not be needing refunds. Hopefully we enjoy the game so much that within the first 2 hours of it coming out, we have 2 hours of playtime. But at least Rockstar gives you an option there. I will keep you posted on everything we discussed in this video today, the release times, and all the other details that you need to know as we are just days away from these games coming out. Let me know in those comments down below. Are you getting hyped? Are you getting less hyped? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more about these titles in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Trilogy Definitive Edition videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.